Welcome, folks. This is Joe Budelli, Chief Revenue Officer here with Propy, along with my coworker, Gwyneth Iredale, our Senior Customer Success Manager, David Pullon with the agency, and Kathleen Ryan, but I'll let them give their, and Kathleen with RLAH at home, I believe is the last email I have for Kathleen and company name. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 98. That means two more till the infamous episode 100 of Propy's weekly webinar, where we bring you the latest in technology and trends within the real estate. And today we're going to talk a little bit why it's important for agents to learn about crypto, NFTs, and blockchain within real estate. And we're going to hear from Kathleen Ryan how she's used her newfound crypto and blockchain knowledge to attract some crypto buyers. Stay tuned. If you're new to Propy, Propy is an innovative real estate transaction platform that enables everyone, all participants involved in the closing process, to close the deals, have transparency using a central platform, which is powered by blockchain. So David, let's start off with you and go over give us a little bit about your background and crypto knowledge.
Sounds great. Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate that. I'm David Pullon. I'm the sales manager for the agency office in Arizona. The agency is a brokerage. We have now over 50 boutique brokerages around the world, all over the United States, Canada, Mexico, Caribbean, and Europe. So it's a wonderful, wonderful brokerage. But my background, I've been licensed in real estate for 24 years now. Majority of that time was spent on the real estate side of the Ritz-Carlton and the Marriott, doing their real estate side of it, not the hospitality side of it. And then came back to Arizona and got on board with some other brokerages and found the agency about 3.5 years ago now. My knowledge of crypto is really, I'm a neophyte, very much a neophyte. Joe and some other agents that he has brought on board and educated thoroughly about crypto and blockchain and NFTs have, kind of influenced that. And we were lucky enough to have a lunch and learn just last week here in Arizona as Joe and Adam were in town. And we had them sit down with our agents and really kind of learn about it. And, I'll share more a little bit later about, what went down for that lunch and learn and a lot of the feedback I got from the agents. We open up our doors when we have those, and I think a lot of brokerages should. It's not proprietary information on that. This is something as a brokerage community, this Kathleen and I aren't with the same brokerage. That's why we're here. We're sharing because you'll see and you'll learn about this when it really comes down to it. If I do, have a client that's interested in buying or selling with, crypto or NFT, I need to probably, I want to deal with somebody like Kathleen who knows what she's talking about. And I know all you agents out there know, whether it's somebody in a particular part of town or somebody more experienced, you want to be really singing out of the same hymnal. And I think that really applies to what we're talking about today, because a lot of this stuff nobody's paying attention to, or they might not think it's important yet, but it's coming. And this is a really important part of it right here and just getting started.
Oh, Kathleen comes with her own fan club in the attendee side, I see already. All right, so for you attendees joining us on the live portion, the rest of you are on Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and type them in. Gwyneth is monitoring the social media sites for Q&A, so we'll try to answer them either live if we have time here. We're only a 30-minute broadcast, short, sweet, give you some valuable tidbits. Go ahead and put those in. But our attendees, go ahead and let us know where you're from. And if you're an agent, what brokerage you're with as well, and an area, and welcome. Kathleen, how about a little bit about your background? I know you're in the DC, Maryland area.
I am. I'm from the Washington metro area. I'm licensed in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. I've been a real estate agent in the residential side. Love your hat. Thank you.
Courtesy of my daughter.
Okay. It's George Washington. And see, it threw me off for there for a second because I was just so happy to see the hat. And I've been an agent for, it's almost 18 years now. Prior to that, I was a senior engineer in the computer industry. And when I started hearing about Bitcoin specifically in 2020, I started getting a little excited and became more knowledgeable. In fact, I turned to my youngest, who's been in cryptocurrency since 2017. He just turned 24, by the way. And I said, hey, how come you didn't talk to us about this? And he said, oh, I've been kind of dabbling, but, dabbling, he's got pretty much a good wealth of digital currency right now because he started so early. So how did I become more knowledgeable about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, blockchain, and everything else? I actually joined Clubhouse in early 2021. It was in the beta mode. That's a social audio app if people haven't already heard about it. This is how I met Christina Postano, who is on here with us today from New York City. I would say that I got more enlightenment actually from Natalia. And I heard from Susie Trax, and I heard from Piper Moretti. And I got really excited with somebody who has kind of a science background to know that there's only 21 million Bitcoins out there, never can be replicated, never can be increased. Yes, obviously, Bitcoin is broken down into 100 million Satoshis or sats. I felt like this is the way to go. It felt like the early days of the internet. It felt like when I was in the 1980s and people were talking about email. We were working on email at a time where you could type everything, but you couldn't even delete. And you could only send one line at a time. So I feel like I was kind of an early adopter. I since decided, and I think this comes from my background a little bit, if I'm starting to learn this stuff, maybe I could teach it to my colleagues. So I developed a 45-minute presentation, presented it to my RLAH real estate compadres. And then I actually reached out to CRS. They were very excited. I did a presentation for them. It has like mushroomed. It's gone to other state associations. I'll be going to California. The California Association of Realtors asked me if I could develop it into a 4-hour class, which I have. Now you can get a credit if you're a CRS. And I just decided that this is something I need to do a deep dive into, and I'm sharing the information. Additionally, I have a couple of clients who have cryptocurrency, and we can talk more about that later.
Fabulous. That's what we want to hear. David, you have a bunch of agents, and we just met last week again in Arizona. Kind of walk us through what the mindset was. What are you hearing from the agents, and what's your thought process about how do you get agents within your brokerage on board, and why is it important for them to understand where cryptocurrency and blockchain is going within real estate?
The topic is, we are, as real estate agents, and you all know that if agents that are on here, we're always having to build our value, to show our value with our clients, and to always kind of grow that. It's funny. I just saw a quote earlier this morning. It said, as agents, what do we do, or any type of salespeople, really? We can buy attention with ads. We can bug for attention. We can beg for attention, or we can earn attention. And earning attention is building your value. Why we do that in every other thing that we do? Why does our client want to come to us? How are we their trusted advisor? Do we know about the schools? Do we know about the community? Of course, we have all the knowledge about the house, the furnishings, the fixtures, the contracts, everything that go with that. This is really one extra step here. And it's really, I see it now, and it's such, like I said, I'm a neophyte in this. It's in its infancy, I really think, right now. Kathleen just mentioned, this is something that, getting in on the ground floor. What an opportunity you have to really stand out. This is another, arrow in your quiver that you can now put in. Not a lot of people, we know that as real estate agents here in the Phoenix metropolitan area, Maricopa County. I think there's 70 or 80,000 licensed real estate agents in our area. I know of maybe a handful that have any idea or know anything about crypto, NFTs, any type of this in real estate and how that will work. Do we have clients that are asking for it right now? I have. And if you haven't, do you really want to be the real estate agent? Do you really want to be the person that says, I don't know anything about that? That's with anything that we, when we're building our value with a client. If a client asks you, what do you know about, marble flooring? I don't know anything. There is going to be a time where this is really going to be pretty much the same thing. And we can see that, and we can see that future. What do you know? Whether they are a client that is in crypto, has a wallet, is going to do a transaction with that or not, you just established yourself by saying, I'm more knowledgeable. And that's the type of person, if I'm the client, that's the type of person that I want to work with. So that's how we're talking about it here. And, at the end of all of that, this is a lot of information. This is all new. I mean, learning the internet, learning real estate, learning crypto, my gosh, everybody, they're like, my head was just blown away. And the one thing that I've in every type of training and any type of setting like this that we walk away from, I said, I learned this in our ninja training and other type of sales trainings that we do. You don't have to learn everything, or you don't have to do everything. You just have to do something. And what's that? And when Joe and Adam were here, I loved it because I can't remember, Joe, if it was you or Adam that said, get into it like you would if you're, how much money you would put down at a blackjack table. And just kind of hop in there and just play with it a little bit and see how it works like that. But now, when you were here for about an hour the other day, and I didn't learn everything. I'm far from an expert on that. In fact, here, as I just told you, I just signed up for the online classes that you do to be certified. Now, eventually I'm gonna have that little logo right down here in the bottom of my profile on my screen that says, certified, crypto certified agent. And I'll have that. That's an extra, again, a feather in my cap, or whatever cliche you want to use there. But to just kind of hop into it, I know enough now that I can answer a question. And, I don't even know off the top of my head what, some of the classes, and Kathleen, you run those, what the costs or anything like that. But you think about what the ROI is on that as we kind of look at it. To me, even if I do not get a client that actually does a transaction in crypto, the fact that I have that logo, the fact that I answered a question for them, the fact that I didn't just become a realtor or real estate agent, I was a trusted advisor on something that they had a question about, and I didn't say, I have no idea. Guess what? That might have gotten me another deal. That might have gotten me another connection. That might have added somebody to my database. And that one time, I'm sure, is going to far, with your ROI, is going to far cover any cost it would be to become crypto certified. So definitely your opportunity to stand out. There's a lot of other reasons that we try to stand out to others. And this is one. We want to become more knowledgeable. We want to, set ourselves apart from other agents in the industry. And even though the information that we might receive on anything as we grow might be a little more overwhelming, you don't have to do everything. You just have to do something. So know enough to be dangerous, throw your own cliche in there, whatever you want to do. That's where you want to get. And then slowly but surely build yourself up where you become the go-to. And that's where we want to be. We can't ask for anything more as agents.
Well said, David. And I'll just share my screen real quick and show the audience what David was talking about, except for that part. On propy.com, propy.com, under products, you can find more information, not only Propy's offer management transaction platform, but the crypto certified agent course, where it's a 6-lesson self-guided course, plus a couple bonus questions on DAO and Metaverse to help bring the knowledge for someone new, an agent new into crypto, blockchain, NFTs, the acronyms. It's to give you that introduction base so that you could speak to a potential crypto buyer. You also join the crypto certified agent community. Well, you'll join into a community along with David, Kathleen, and hundreds of other agents around the US, to where the community will help build the associated knowledge and serve as a reference. If you have crypto buyers in one state going into another state, you're gonna need agents who are versed in crypto. Now, I know David has an agent in Florida at the agency in Miami. She did 2 crypto deals herself last December, right? So it is happening out there. Also, to give you other feedback, A recent report came out a few weeks ago. Nearly 12%, I think it was 11.6, first-time home buyers use some form of crypto liquidation to help with the down payment. And now a crypto buyer doesn't always have to use crypto all the way through. There are ways to get loans against it, like with Abra, Mila, or Helio. There are ways to convert it to a stable coin. It makes having the right escrow partner. And Propy does have integrated title partners that know how to do this. Reach out to us. And if you are in the Miami area, March 10th and 11th next week, Propy is holding the first crypto and real estate summit. And if you're a part of the Miami Association, there is emails going out from your association with a special discount code. But look at all the speakers, including Mayor Francis Suarez of Miami will be there to speak. But Michael Arrington, Tom Ferry, Nabil Charania from Metaphor Capital, a lot of great speakers. And it's split up into day one, day two, where we're going to talk about trends investing in crypto projects, the power of NFTs, legal and tax issues around crypto and blockchain, how and why family offices need to invest in crypto and NFTs. We'll talk about developments and trends in the metaverse and many more. Visit propy.com and look at the summit page for more information. So let's get back to Kathleen, because Kathleen, explain what's going on there in DC, because we all know, hey, there's a lot of crypto activities in places like Miami and Florida, right? And people saw that Propy did the first US home sale NFT last month. Folks, we do have another one coming up shortly this month. Keep an eye out for that as well. And places like Austin and California. But up in DC, Maryland area, you came across some crypto buyers. Go ahead and explain.
So my first crypto buyer, I actually decided I didn't know enough. And this was very early on. So I tried to find a partner who was not in our area because he was searching for a specific kind of business. It was a kind of a commercial real estate double thing. And so I referred him out, and he has tried to work with that agent, and he's going to try to work with that agent and now work with me on the residential side and with the other agent who has the crypto experience on the commercial side. It's great. In that time that he spent trying to figure all of that out, I definitely did a deeper dive into Propy, into cryptocurrency, and I feel more confident. And certainly now I have the certification. Since I got that certification, by the way, people have been coming out of the woodwork. My second buyer right now, I didn't even learn that he had crypto until we kept talking. You know how when you talk to first person, they talk about what type of house they want, where they want to live. It's got to have 2 cars, a garage, whatever. And to be honest, he quietly said, I bought some crypto. I think I could use some of it for my down payment. Do you think you can help? I said, absolutely, I can help. I feel confident that I can help them navigate through the process of either converting their crypto, using their crypto if a seller wants it, accepting it into their wallet, working with the settlement attorney. By the way, I've interviewed a bunch of settlement attorneys. Just today, a settlement attorney called me and said, hey, I heard you have some knowledge in crypto. I'm going to take you out to lunch. I'm like, you're going to take me out to lunch? I said, oh, we can just do it over by phone. He goes, no, this is so worth it. I'm taking you out to lunch. Now that we're a little unmasked here, everybody's trying to get out a little bit. But I'm just telling you, the word is out. I totally believe, like David, I believe in winning by doing. If you want to learn more, go buy a little Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin or some token. If you want to know about NFTs, you've got to investigate what an NFT is. You just don't have to know what the title means, non-fungible token. You really have to figure it out. So I'm here to be a resource to people who are in the Metro Washington, D.C. area, and a resource to my other compadres in other towns. So like Christina in New York, or other people in Chicago, or the folks that I've talked to in Houston. There are a lot of people who are starting to become interested, and I want us to be at the forefront and work with these people because they're ready to buy. They're the millennials. And I've been working with millennials for a long time. I've been working with people who are older than that, but I feel like this is a very strong place to be in the market and set yourself apart from.
Kathleen, you bring up something interesting that one of my agents said after Joe and Adam were here the other day, because a lot of people were saying, millennials, they were talking about that. And one of my agents came up to me and she goes, what happens when, because some agents are saying, well, I might not have that crowd, whatever, why would I get involved with this? And they said, you know what if you have a client, she goes, my parents, for example, who will never learn anything about crypto, never want to anything, but they see a house like the one that was sold in Florida or whatever, and the ones that are coming up or whatever, that is available on crypto. Okay. And they want to buy the house. I mean, look, all over the world right now, we're having an inventory shortage. Okay. Now we're going to take maybe even some of that inventory and say, this is only available if you have a crypto wallet.
I just thought the marketing was fantastic. Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form. So now that person is going to say, well, I'm going to need somebody like Kathleen that knows what she's kind of talking about to deal with this. And not only that, then you're going to have to look for somebody maybe on the other side. Well, those clients they're not going to be able to get those houses if they don't know anything about it. And they're not going to learn about it. They're going to rely on you, the agent, to take them through that transaction. Talk about being a trusted advisor. You just really leveled up your game.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm a baby boomer. So I have talked to so many other baby boomers who are a little bit younger, a little bit older. They have cryptocurrency. They just quietly bought it. They're not going around announcing, they're not saying how many Bitcoins they have or how much Ethereum. They knew that this is a way to grow their family wealth. And I firmly believe this is a part of our financial solutions to grow our generational wealth. So, my parents who came from Korea in the 40s and the 50s, a long time ago, but they came with like suitcases and a little bit of money. We can provide for our children very significantly in the future.
Well,
and retirement.
Again, and you're bringing up some great things that are making my mind just go firing off here. But before these guys came, I did a little research on, we might have heard, professional athletes are taking their salaries in Bitcoin or their game checks in cryptocurrency. I found actually there's a lot more CEOs, a lot more executive level people that are taking it in crypto. I was speaking to an agent who's not at our brokerage about this the other day, because he's like, I wish I would have been there. I would have loved to. I saw him out, at the train park here in Arizona. He was with his child. I was with mine. And he said, I wish I would have been there. He goes, because I have a lot of guys that work for me in another business that he owns. And I said, what's that business? He goes, I own a barbershop. And they asked to take some of their salary, some of their income in Bitcoin. Yes, it can be volatile. It can do all these things, but what a risk reward for something like that. So now, and he said, you'll be surprised how many of them are now millionaires.
Oh yeah. Well, there's all these agents in Toronto that are taking their commission. Again, choosing Canadian dollars or crypto. I'm thrilled for them. I wish we would do it down here.
And we don't, this is going to happen more often, and you've got to stand out, and you've got to be the person that's going to be the one to be able to at least have enough information to be dangerous. Don't just say, idea, you're gonna have to go to Kathleen. I just,
That's okay. Come on. That's okay. I'm good.
David, great segue in. We hear a lot of compressed commissions for agents. At the end of the day, it comes down to, how does an agent explain their value? And what are you as the agent doing to up your value? Because the buying habits of consumers will change. When Web3, and I'm not going to overuse the metaverse, folks, this is just the third generation of the internet. It's already been planned. And my opinion is, it's just designed for us to spend money easier and faster. And having a virtual world, we have to adapt. Just like we had to adapt moving to the internet, which was about content, and then moving into the eBays and the different ways to buy and procure things and shop. Now that's all going to get enhanced. We're going to have better trainings, better graphics. We have 5G rolling out. But more importantly, David, you brought up something that was spot on. The buyer of the property in Tampa that we NFT'd really loved the house. They were not a crypto person. They wanted that house. So they went and found a Propy crypto certified agent to help them on the buy side. And for the folks that are looking at NFTs in the marketplace and the auction, the house had a listing agent side and it had a buyer side agent. Okay, just to squash. And it was real property. I know there were some couple tweets. Oh, I already took a picture of my house and made it an NFT. You're not first. No, it was a real property sold as an NFT. And another one's coming up shortly.
Joe, if I'm not mistaken, when I researched that particular transaction right there, correct me if I'm wrong, there were 68 offers and 2 people had knowledge, or 2 people had wallets, I believe, crypto wallets.
Yeah, we learned a few things because we were getting people, because you're right. The availability of homes was so tight. We're getting many people that weren't necessarily crypto people. We did underestimate that. So we had over 3,000 people sign up for interest. Yeah. Right. And then the funnel will go down because many of the people from an investment on crypto side wanted to stay anonymous the whole way through. So a little FAQ for folks out there. When you buy real estate, the difference between real estate NFT procurement is different than artwork. Artwork, you can remain anonymous. When you do buy real property, there is the KYC process. Know your customer. That part of entering, you have to identify yourself and go through the AML, the anti-money laundering protocols. You will sign up, register. We are making some tweaks, and hopefully in time for the next one, to make it easier for people to follow along the auction, but also making it easier for people to get their wallets, register, and go through the KYC, which is literally 5 minutes, right? It's not complicated, but it is a new process, which is why having a crypto certified agent and a licensed realtor and a crypto certified agent comes in handy in situations like this. And as David said, you are the key advisor here. You are the trusted advisor.
You can't tell me that those people, that if there were 68 and only 2 had it, you can't tell me that the other 66 didn't go looking for somebody that knew something about it right after they lost that house.
We're trying to speed up the next one in Tampa, which will be a condo. It's a little bit different because I believe it is there are tenants with income property.
Oh, wow. So not only the condo association, but tenants also.
So
wow.
we are, and you'll see, we are trying to do 10 or 20 of them this year. And we're trying to do a little bit unique so we can get a broader perspective, because there's a lot of work the Propy team does underneath. Platform set, right? Platform is set. But there's a lot of legal work and agreements. We have to make sure we adhere to every rules and regulations, and there's some state variations. So we'll do some in Florida. We'll go to another state, do some more there as we ramp up. And you guys will be along for the ride. All right. So as we go in closing, I want to get some final thoughts from both Kathleen and David. David, why don't you lead it off? We'll let Kathleen finish.
To me, as you've mentioned, before, Joe, this isn't an infomercial or anything like that. This is something, this is a new, shift almost in the market. This is a new thing coming in the market, much like a Zillow or something else that came into the market that you need to educate yourself on. You need to be the trusted advisor on. And you pulled that up, I want to say it was $497. I mean, if we pay like that for advertising, or we pay for signs, or we pay to, send out a postcard or something like that, why, even if we didn't have a client that was seriously thinking about doing this in crypto, is that something that is going to make you up your knowledge? Is going to make somebody who is looking for somebody like, wow, if he knows about this, he probably knows about some other things. He probably is very well versed in a lot of things about real estate if he or she are also involved with this. So I do not see a reason why everybody shouldn't be involved in this. And that's why I love, and as you can tell, I talk a lot faster and I get really enthusiastic about it. And I'm very, very new in it all, and I don't know it all, and I'm learning every day, and I don't have to. So we'll just keep it going forward.
Kathleen, how about you? And folks, if you're hearing any banging in the background, this is the perfect audience because you'll get it. I'm having carpets installed as I get my house ready to sell.
Good for you. Here's my, most of us are kind of learning faster and faster. There's more information out there. There's you have to make quicker decisions. You have to sift through a lot. Sometimes there's even disinformation. And in the world of crypto specifically, every day something's changing. There's new regulations that are going to be coming. I'm in the middle of all of this, by the way, in Washington, D.C. One thing I want to mention is Gary Gensler, who used to be with MIT and taught the crypto class. He's the head of the SEC. The gentleman that is at the head of the Federal Reserve, he happened to have a kid that went to school with my kid, but on top of that, he's got a kind of a positive attitude. We are kind of waiting to hear from the president, and now we have the captains of industry. There's that Michael Saylor, who I think is like potentially somebody I would want to meet someday. Not only does he have any personal interest, not only does he have personal interest in Bitcoin and has some for himself, but he's definitely done a lot of investment for his company, MicroStrategies. So he's just down in my backyard, by the way, in Tyson's in Virginia. So hopefully someday I'll meet him soon. I really think that this class that was offered by Propy, that was developed by a bunch of other people way before you and I, David, have come, will fast track you to understanding. You want to know about this stuff, not only because of real estate, but you want to have an understanding of this. You've got kids who understand it more than you. You've got people it was a huge increase of jobs associated with cryptocurrency in 2021. And the last thing I would say is we've all had to shift so much during the pandemic. We went to Zoom. We didn't see our clients. In 2020, I sold 3 houses. They never even saw them. I just kind of did FaceTime tours and talked to them on WhatsApp and did a little bit more extensive videos than what the listing agent did. And the first time they saw their houses were at final walkthrough. Last year, I did 2 like that. And this year already, we're only in, beginning of March. And I sold a house last week to a Canadian that way. He didn't ever come to see it. We just, once again, showed it. I think you're going to see us very soon. We're going to become avatars. I'm going to be a real estate avatar. David's going to become one too. My buyer's going to be sitting in Phoenix. He's going to be another avatar. The listing agent is in some other location. And we're all going to be able to jump in and see our property. You're going to be able to open up the cabinets and feel what's on the inside. I'm so excited because this is the way we're going to be. And to be this early with some understanding of how things are going, it just elevates you and makes you feel like you can share this knowledge with others. So that's what I'll leave you with.
Great. Thank you so much, Kathleen. What great insights. You're getting so many compliments on your capabilities. And what I've heard from today, we have David, who admitted he's kind of new to this area of crypto, but we're learning so much how agents can talk to both audiences. So you have your traditional real estate, and then you have people who are new in the space. And then I'll turn on my video. And then Kathleen, you're more experienced in the crypto world. So it's great to hear both perspectives. So thank you so much for those sound bites. And we do have some questions. Joe, do we have time to field a couple of questions on social?
Yes, and please go right ahead. Let's take a couple questions.
Yeah, so one of them is, what does it sound like to state the value proposition for an experienced crypto person and somebody inexperienced? Maybe Kathleen and Dave, you can take turns, maybe a 1-sentence value proposition.
Say the question again so I have a better understanding. Sorry.
What does the value proposition sound like from an experienced crypto person and somebody inexperienced?
Okay, I think I understand this a little better. Okay, I think I'm not exactly the most experienced. I haven't concluded a transaction, but I feel like I'm ready. I've done a lot of due diligence. I found hopefully a settlement company. I've talked to a couple of loan officers who are coming along, and they're coming up with some different ideas of how they would deal with somebody who shows crypto, how they can show the evidence that they hold it and all this kind of stuff. We're getting closer and closer. I look to the people who've already done these transactions. And when I mean done these transactions, you're considered experienced if you've done 5. You are a rock star if you've done 6. And there's probably very few people who's ever done even a dozen. Within a brokerage, I heard in Toronto, they think it's great. They've done 5. That's pretty significant. So we're not that far back. Our value add to our clients is we are trying to mitigate any risks. what I want to do is avoid the pitfalls. I don't want to put a buyer in a situation where if it falls through, who's holding the cryptocurrency? That's got to be written into the contract, right? What if there's a timetable where you sold it at a certain point and by the time you sold it, even 10 minutes later, it's a different price? I've got to be able to explain that. And then there's all these things about taxes. We have recordation and transfer taxes in the Metro DC area. You're not going to be able to tell me yet that we can do that in crypto. We still have to do that in fiat. So to explain that to others, sometimes you have a wallet that's okay in one country and not another. Our world is getting smaller and smaller. I think there's going to be a lot of regulation coming. And I think I'll leave you with, the more you learn, the more you can help your client.
That plays into David's value proposition or positioning, that it's giving of information, being that trusted advisor. So from that perspective, did you want to say something, David, about how you would talk about crypto to somebody who's kind of new?
Yeah, I would. You know, it's basically, you know, there's tons of analogies and stuff that you could use and things like that. I mean, do you want to hop in a car with somebody who's licensed or not? Do you want to go through a real estate transaction with somebody who's licensed or not? You know, there's little things like that, but it's, you know, you just mentioned that about the interpreting of information. You know, we have the industry is changing so much that, you know, before it used to be, you know, we could just be presenters of information, and unfortunately, some real estate agents still kind of do that. They present the information. Here it is. Here's the market analysis. Here's what's going on in the market. We have to be interpreters of the information. We have to be interpreters of the market. What exactly does that mean? What exactly is going on? And that's when you just do it. Again, you keep it simple and you just, you know, talk through it and everything. They're going to say, I have more trust. I have more confidence in Kathleen. I have more confidence in this product now in just speaking with you. And let's keep learning this along the way.
Yeah, we have a fantastic community of supportive agents, whether they've taken our course or not. We really appreciate that you support each other. Oh, here comes another question. Do you think the sales price premium for NFT homes will continue? Who wants to take that one?
Yeah, well, depending on the region, I saw one on the chat. There's folks that are, you know, trying to determine if you're going through NFT or going through MLS. So Propy's approach right now, because we're in a tight market, and in most homes, MLS likely it's going to be your best avenue, right? We're not here to replace the MLS. We're here to show that a complete buy and sell can be done in 2 weeks or less. That's what NFT is giving to you. We believe in the future where NFT can provide as value to the consumers, as well as the efficiency, traceability, and security it provides for the agents and all parties involved. The properties guidelines that Propy is looking for is specific type of properties. They're free and clear. Yes. We did the first two in Ether. Next one, I hear we may be doing USDC. We'll be doing a stable coin. We will try to give you a little different look early on here to help expand the knowledge as we introduce this to the market. We're not going to blow up in 2 months and just say everybody can do an NFT home, right? Let's do it in a methodical way, in an approach where everybody can follow, including the regulators and lawmakers, right? Everybody needs to understand how it's done, the value of it, the protection to the consumers and all parties involved. So that's why, and for those of you, and we have hundreds and hundreds of requests for NFTing homes. We are only selecting early on here, very specific ones that will help us educate the agent community and, you know, escrow and the whole ecosystem of real estate.
We have one last question, and I think then that will be the time to say goodbye. What happens if the NFT is lost? Can that happen?
We are publishing FAQ. We'll publish an FAQ after we do the next property, and this will be covered in it. Yeah, that's a great question. Another question we had earlier: what happens if the person passes? How do the heirs get it? And these are the questions that you all should be asking. These are the ones that we'll make sure that's in the FAQ that we can then present. So it's written down and everybody has the right answers and talks about the pros of doing it. And then eventually we'll get to other forms, non-auctions, other currency forms, and hopefully, figuring out how the loan side works in due time, right? There's so many scenarios, folks. We can only do a little bit at a time. With that, in closing, didn't want to let the day go by without wishing our prayers and thoughts for the citizens of Ukraine, for what they're having to endure at this moment. And we should all feel very lucky in our current environment within where we live. Thank you very much for joining us on this episode 98. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Kathleen and David, fabulous discussion today. And for those of you, I come up and say hi. And Laura, I know you're on here, and you guys, you're likely going to be at the summit because you missed me the last time I was there. Let's go ahead and get caught up. I'll see you all for those in the summit next week. Everyone else, thank you. And next week, we will present the weekly webinar from Miami. In 2 weeks, episode 100 will be a recap of the Propy Summit. So stay tuned over the next couple of weeks. Thank you. Have a good day.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, Joe. Thank you, Gwyneth.
Thank
Bye,
you
David.
for your excellent
Bye,
panelists.
Guys in Miami.
Yay. Bye-bye.